All my judges are ready? Great. I remember a couple months ago I went to see a movie with my friends, and it was a really, really popular movie, so unfortunately the only seats we could get were in the front row. So I remember the whole movie. I had to look at the screen like this. But I loved it still so incredibly much, and to this day it's one of my absolute favorite movies. And that movie is Guardians of the Galaxy. And today I'd like to look at this movie, Guardians of the Galaxy, and not from this view, but rather from this view, and see the main theme, the plot if you're not familiar with it, and see how that kind of relates to me. How I can relate to a bunch of crazy space aliens in the galaxy, which sounds really weird saying it out loud. But if you're not familiar with the plot of this movie, it follows a ragtag group of misfits. They've all committed crimes, and they're in jail. And within this jail, this space jail, they meet a lot of different fellows, and they all kind of come to this consensus that they have to save the galaxy, and they're the only ones to do it. And they're trying to protect this simple item and having an evil person not take control of it. So this group of misfits, who includes a bunch of weird names like Star-Lord and Groot and Drax, decide to save the world, even though beforehand they were all criminals. So the main theme, in my opinion, is the idea of purpose. That through this tough situation and through jail, they all were able to find a purpose. They were able to work together regardless of what their past was. And at the end of the movie, they save the world and they realize that they have a new hope. They're now shown as heroes instead of criminals because they have a new life. They have a new purpose. Instead of being defined as the people that were constantly going around ripping people's guts out and all that type of crazy stuff, now they're known as Guardians of the Galaxy. Heroes. Because of their new purpose. Because of their perfect purpose. And they're awarded. And the worldview, or the idea that I think these characters take on, or their galaxy view, is this idea of being lost until they find this purpose. But with this purpose, their worldview, or the idea of the galaxy, is so much more clear. And it's funny to think about, but I can relate to these characters. I can relate to these characters that were having such a difficult time, that were lost in evil, but then found a purpose. And I remember the beginning of my freshman year, I was extremely depressed, actually. And within this time, I was trying to look for something to add into this messy, messy formula of life. And I was adding stuff, and I was subtracting stuff, but nothing seemed to add up. I just couldn't simply understand what was the answer. How could I finally find my purpose? Could there really be something for every single one of us? Something that gives us a hope, happiness, joy? And I realized that I was being blinded by everything around me, that everything I was trying to add in or subtract wasn't the answer to the question. In reality, I needed a good purpose, much like the Guardians of the Galaxy movie. And I found that purpose through the worldview, the relationship of Christianity. And now, if you're not familiar with what Christianity is, it's the worldview, the idea that the ultimate guardian of the galaxy, the ultimate God, a great being, created every single one of us, and he loves us so incredibly much. And he gives us a purpose inside every single one of us. It says, in his book, the Bible that he gives to us, it says, he plans our steps. He places our feet. Instead of where we came on, it doesn't matter who you are, what you did, but he loves us and he gives us a purpose, a perfect purpose. And I saw that when I accepted this God, when I realized that there was a creator of a universe, that he gives us all a purpose, my life changed completely around. I was happier. I realized that there was a plan for me, that a path I could follow. And that's not to say that the rest of your life will be easy when you accept God. I wouldn't want to mislead you in that way. But I do know for an absolute fact that I have a reason to be here. That I'm standing here today with a purpose. And instead of having to constantly add and subtract, I know that no matter what, the God of the universe, the perfect guardian of the galaxy, loves me. And he cares about me. And I would encourage you, if you're dealing with this sense of being lost, looking for a purpose, if your worldview is construed, to look at this worldview, to look at this relationship might work for you, and I know it has for me. I know I now have a purpose. Today we looked at the movie Guardians of the Galaxy. We saw how 5 misfits, through a purpose to do good, changed their entire lives around. They were then fulfilled. And we saw that I was able to relate to Star-Lord, to Drax, to Groot, because I myself found my purpose. And that wasn't through the mystical item they were trying to protect, but rather God. Through him, I was able to find my purpose, my worldview. And I'd encourage you to do the same, to accept the Guardians of